Preview tomorrow. Is that what we're doing? Preview
Yeah,
tomorrow.
tell Travis so he knows.
I'm telling Travis. Travis, we're going to preview tomorrow. We'll start with the women's 100 hurdles. Looking at the field, the two semifinals. Travis, bring up the semifinal heats. There you go. You see McNeil, Marshall, Nelvis, I guess, has been running. Not that. I think Heat 2 is probably the harder heat because it has the heat with Kenny Harrison. And
What's
you know
that
Harrison
called?
is going to win the death heat.
There you go.
So Heat 2 here is a death heat with Cockrell and Harrison. What are your thoughts? Nothing too crazy, I think, in this heat. Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, the person I think could influence things the most would be Tania Marshall if she gets it going again. Today she ran just a 12.76 and got third in her heat, but she's run 12.4 this year. So that would be the person I would keep my eye on just in the semis of, okay, maybe she's getting her legs back under her. She scratched that NCAA final. She could get down to that 12.4 range, which is enough to make the team. Then we're looking at the women's 400. So we have the lane.
No, men's 100.
Oh, men's 100. Well, I want to save that for last for the actual final.
Okay,
But
well, all right. No, do women's 4 then. Save the men's 100 for last.
Women's 400, Irby, Manson, Anderson, Jonathan Hayes, Ellis, Felix in 8, and Whitney in 9. So Felix will be way on the outside there and running blind for a good portion of it. Although Whitney's been running well, so she's probably a good person to have out there to chase. Like she'll be a good marker for her.
Yeah. Hayes, I like in 6. She got a good heat, good lane. I don't know. We've seen these women now run twice already in the past 2 days. We just got to get this final one off the ground. We've already previewed that. I kind of want to more talk about some of the semifinals, right? We're talking about death heats.
Okay.
So let's talk about that 100 meter. Let's go right into the 100. All right. Let's try to predict the 100 meter final. Okay, so it's all 8. It's top 3 per heat with the 2 fastest on time. So let's go with heat 1 and let's pick our big Qs. We both got Bromell as a big Q, right?
Correct.
I think my big Qs are going to be Gatlin, Bednarik, and Bromell. What do you think?
Yes, I like that. And I think, man, I'm trying to decide which is the death heat, but they're pretty even here. I don't think there is a death heat in this one. Yeah, I think Bromell, obviously, Gatlin, and Bednarik. And I think Young is going to be real close. So it wouldn't surprise me if Young sneaks in a third. And I think Young will get it. I know we'll get to the small Qs in a second, but I think Young will be right there in that mix.
All right. Heat 2. I think it's going to be Baker, Bracey, and Curley who get the big Qs. Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I have Baker and Bracey making the team. So obviously I'm sticking with them. And I think Curley showed enough today to where you'd say he's going to be in the top 3 in that heat.
Okay. Now here's the thing. 2 people get the time qualifier.
Yeah.
I would argue it's going to be between Isaiah Young, Michael Williams, and Noah Lyles. And I'm going to say here, I think Noah Lyles does not make the final.
I think Lyles is going to...
Noah Lyles doesn't make the final.
I think he's going to do enough to get that last qualifying spot. So my small Qs would be Young from the first heat, and I think Lyles will get it from the second heat. I think the start hasn't been great, but I think he has enough closing speed over the back half to get it done. But I'm not going to pick him to get top 3 once we get to the final at the end of the night. But I think he will make the final. Michael
Williams is running well, man. On his home track,
I agree.
He's been in those blocks all year long. He ran 10 flat in that prelim. I think Michael Williams and Isaiah Young get the 2 at large. And that's going to be the story. I think the story is going to be Noah Lyles doesn't make the final.
I think the story is going to be the top 3 from the final later on that night. Okay, that might be a story for half an hour, but then we're going to move past it and we're going to talk about it. Do you want to go full Michael Johnson and tell me about people who didn't look that confident today?
Nah, everyone looked confident.
Gordon's confidence report.
Confidence was key. A couple other people made
Men's
the
400.
Olympic team.
Hold on, men's 400.
Valerie Allman. What about the 400?
The men's 400 finals tomorrow. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, well, we've already talked about the
Norman?
400 twice in the past
You got
day
Norman?
and a half.
I
Yeah,
got
Norman's
okay.
making the team. He's confident. Yeah, he's
wanna-
been confident.
I want to revisit the picks and see if you want to make any
Okay,
changes. So I had Norman,
well-
Ross, and Cherry. You had Norman, Williams, and Ross. Do you want to change anything about your picks?
Well, I got to take Williams off.
Yes. Okay, good.
So I'll replace Williams with
Dramatic pause.
Cherry.
Okay. So you have the same picks as me now. All right. That was not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. I will let you then direct the rest of
Can I
the
tell
show.
you who I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say? I'll tell
Wait,
you who I was
then-
going to say.
then say
I was
it.
going to say Godwin, but then I chickened out and I went with Cherry.
Then say it. Say
It's
it.
like when you're at, Rita's Italian
Say it with your
Ice and you're
chest,
trying to
as the
figure
kids
out.
say.
No, you
Italian
ever go to the
Ice?
Italian Ice station and you're like, hey, I don't know what flavor I want. And you're like, ooh, root beer. Oh, vanilla, coconut, all these different flavors. And you're like, cherry. And you just go with cherry. And then you walk out the door with the cherry Italian Ice. And you're happy. And you sit on the beach eating the plain old cherry Italian Ice. And that's what I'm doing here in this 400
with Michael Cherry.
with Michael Cherry. Yeah.
Okay. I see how it all got tied together there. All right.